A Gandhian amidst us. On one of my ferry trips to Bangalore in January of 1968, the Republic Day Honours List was declared, and Professor D.V.V. Rao of Guwahati University was awarded the Padma Shri. Dr. Rao was not just an economist, but a figure of near legendary status in Assam, a meticulous scholar deeply respected for his writings on the state's economy. The proceeds from his book, I later learned, were given back to the university in the form of scholarships and funded academic chairs, a testament to his belief in the power of education. A bachelor and a staunch Gandhian, Dr. Rao lived as simply as one could imagine. He rode an old bicycle for his work, eschewing any form of luxury. His university residence, though large enough with 4 rooms, was only partially used by the man himself. The rest he reserved for students of little means, mostly from rural regions, who had come to the city with hardly more than ambition and hope. He stood out as a rare academic whose influence was so substantial that he was allowed to hold his own convocation solely for his department, a remarkable privilege for any professor. The Chancellor of the University, B.K. Nehru, Governor of Assam and the Seven Sisters, personally attended this intimate event. I had attended one such convocation upon Dr. Rao's invitation, and truth be told, I found myself admiring his influence. Naturally, I assumed that by the time I returned from Bangalore, a grand felicitation by the Guwahati Andhra Association would have already been arranged to honor Dr. Rao's national recognition. Here was a man, one of their own, who had been recognized by the Assam government, and surely, I thought, there would be a gathering fit for the occasion, a Sanman for their native son. But upon my return, I was met with a curious silence. Not only was there no grand celebration, there seemed to be no plan for one at all. I was disappointed, even slightly disturbed, by such indifference towards honoring Dr. Rao. It struck me as an oversight bordering on injustice, and I resolved to set matters right in my own humble way. Enlisting the support of a senior Telugu colleague, I proposed that we organize our own Sanman for Dr. Rao under the Borjar Air Force Telugu Association. The response from our Telugu boys on base was both immediate and enthusiastic. Against various odds, we pressed forward with our plan. The first challenge was, of course, convincing Dr. Rao himself to accept this honor. My senior colleague, in deference of his age and status, took the initial lead on this delicate matter, but the professor remained firm in his quiet refusal. I offered to try once more. Aware of the deeply rooted respect he held for his old friend and colleague, Dr. Reddy, I managed to contact Dr. Reddy and explained our intentions. With some persuasion, Dr. Reddy agreed to introduce me to Dr. Rao and help convey our sincerity. After a good deal of discussion, Dr. Rao reluctantly agreed to accept our honor, which allowed us to move forward. The second challenge lay in gathering the details necessary to draft a befitting Sanman Patra, a citation worthy of Dr. Rao's achievements and character. Dr. Reddy again gave us a lead, mentioning an old citation prepared years ago by some of Dr. Rao's former students. It took considerable effort, but we eventually traced the student then living in a remote area. I went to his place and secured a copy. My colleague and I worked late into the night, crafting a new Sanman Patra in Telugu, adhering to the formal, respectful style typical of Andhra. Executing the Sanman in true Andhra tradition required symbolic items difficult to source locally. A recording of Nadaswaram music, a traditional Purna Kumbha, holy pot, and an ornamental shawl. Fortunately, a non-combatant employee working in the base was of Telugu origin, Burma refugee settled in Guwahati. He was quite interested in such cultural activities and gave some inputs. Yet, with a team of eager young airmen prepared to go to any lengths, no task was insurmountable. Each member took to their duty with gusto, and together we ensured that Dr. Rao's recognition would be conducted with the respect he deserved and in the spirit of the homeland he held dear. Unexpectedly, yet another obstacle emerged, this time from an entirely unforeseen quarter. Dr. Rao, true to his Gandhian principles, insisted on cycling to the venue near our airbase, a good 10 kilometers from the university. In his eyes, accepting a car was an unnecessary indulgence, a wasteful expenditure he was determined to avoid. The sheer simplicity and conviction of this stand stayed with me even years later. I pulled out every ounce of persuasive skill at my disposal. I explained that there was no additional expense. The car, in fact, was a taxi already en route back to its garage, driven by a retired airman who lived near the base. It was essentially a vacant return, and Dr. Rao's acceptance would incur no cost. The hours stretched on, but finally, to our immense relief, he conceded. I shudder to think of the spectacle if he had cycled that long stretch at night, not to mention the absolute shame it would bring upon us to allow it. Thank God he relented. When the night of the event arrived, we went to great lengths to honor Dr. Rao in traditional style. He was welcomed with the taped Mangalavadyam, the sanctified music evoking reverence. Children showered him with the flowers, while he was offered the Purna Kumbha, a traditional pot symbolizing fullness and blessing. Then, as he seated on that humble stage, we read aloud the Sanman Patra, a heartfelt citation capturing his unwavering dedication and ascetic lifestyle. It was a moment steeped in quiet pride and respect, a tribute both fitting and long overdue. In the end, it was worthy every ounce of effort. The reward was an indescribable, deeply emotional satisfaction. Dr. Rao was visibly moved by the outpouring of genuine respect and affection from the men. Long after the formalities had ended, unexpected and surprisingly to us, he lingered, chatting with the boys who had orchestrated the event. His reluctance to leave testing the patience of the taxi driver, who had an early appointment the next morning. As he finally took his leave, there was a glint of moisture in his eyes, a fleeting, poignant moment that left us all touched. We had honored a man of profound simplicity and towering ideals, and in doing so, we felt a shared sense of honor, as though his values had somehow graced us too. Ironically, our humble gathering set a spark. Embarrassed or perhaps inspired, the Guwahati Andhra Association finally organized a belated function to honor Dr. Rao. But it was a feeble attempt, shared with the others of marginal achievement, an almost insulting diminishment of Dr. Rao's immense contributions and his Padma Shri. It was, I suppose, the familiar Indian crab mentality in action, the unspoken rule that no one may be allowed to shine too brightly, lest it disturb the status quo. But for us, that evening was enough. We had paid our tribute, and it was, in every sense, ours alone. I look back on my tenure in Guwahati with a profound sense of satisfaction and pride, not only for the duties I fulfilled, but for the challenges I seized, both professionally and personally. Professionally, I took it upon myself to initiate the development of a testing rig for the stall warning system, a single-handed, deafeningly silent, minor contribution that proved invaluable for operations. It enabled us to keep more caribous in the air, especially crucial during the refugee evacuations of the 1971 Bangladesh War, a time when every operational aircraft counted. On other fronts, there were quieter achievements. During my stint as the officer in charge of the cinema hall, I managed to replace the outdated 16mm projector with a new 35mm model, which transformed the viewing experience. I even found a way to refurbish 2 old air coolers, putting them to good use in the Air Warriors mess, a small achievement, perhaps, but one greatly appreciated in the sweltering heat. And then there was the tribute to Dr. V.V. Rao, a true Gandhian and a man of immense dignity. It was an honor to initiate and be an important player of a proper, fitting celebration for him, one that his achievements deserved, but that bureaucracy might otherwise have denied. Reflecting on all this, a thought occurs to me. A challenge is merely an opportunity wrapped in dirty clothes. Don't be misled by the exterior. Once you get to the core of it, you often find it is not at all as daunting as it appears. Tackle it like our young pilots facing uncertain and dangerous conditions. Take that chance, that calculated risk. It's a habit worth cultivating. In the present world, gentleness is too often mistaken for weakness. This is an illusion. True gentleness demands a rare strength, a fortitude forged in patience, tempered by forgiveness and sustained by endurance. It requires a resilience seldom seen. Dr. Rao exemplified this principle, standing firm in gentleness, no matter the circumstance or consequence. In our life, we unwittingly turn to comparison, measuring ourselves against friends, siblings, and peers. From these small comparisons emerges a silent, creeping competition, which in time may grow into envy, resentment, and worse, the seeds of corruption. Such rivalry breeds a toxic energy, an insidious negativity that pervades. To escape this trap, one must simply resist the urge to compare oneself to others. You and your own standard, your truest rival, needing no deceit or duplicity, no gamesmanship or cutting corners, only honest, clear eyed self reflection. This is a path to genuine self betterment deeper than superficial gain. Cultivate discipline and restraint. Make a habit of positive discernment, of sifting the wheat from the chaff. Know that not every trend is worth following, not every impulse is meant to be indulged. Life is not to be whittled away down to mindless pursuit of wealth, entertainment, or fleeting pleasure. Stay simple, aim for substance, and let gentleness, that misunderstood strength as cowardice or amicability, guide you through. True fulfillment comes from a balanced approach where discipline and thoughtful choices guide your actions.